All right, listen up, humans. As a cat, I see a lot. And, well, I've noticed you have this habit. A really destructive one, especially with those giant scratching posts you call buildings. You put them up, you knock them down, and you leave a frankly embarrassing mess. So today we're going to talk about that mess. And, a much smarter way to do things.
Okay, let's just start with a number. 37%. Yeah, that's how much of all global emissions comes from your built environment. You're literally living inside your biggest pollution problem. How clever of you.
Oh, and it gets so much worse. Every single year, you chuck away 2 billion tons of building materials. You could build a whole new city the size of Paris with that. Every year. Honestly, my hairballs are more sustainable.
So yeah, you've got what I like to call a catastrophic waste problem. It's huge, but the reason for it is actually pretty simple. You've just been building with a use it once and throw it away attitude for way too long.
For decades, your whole model has been take, make, dispose. You dig stuff out of the ground, you build something, and then when you're bored with it, you knock it all down and just bury it somewhere else. It's a one-way ticket to a planet covered in garbage. But there is a smarter way. You just gotta think more like a circle and less like a straight line to the dump.
And that brings us to the big solution, the circular economy. I know, it's a fancy term, but it really just boils down to a simple idea. Stop treating your buildings like they're disposable toys.
Okay, so here's the key. A circular economy is a system where basically nothing ever becomes waste. Instead of throwing stuff away, you reuse it, you repair it, you recover it. And the payoff? It's huge. Just doing this could slash CO2 emissions from building materials by 38% by 2050. I mean, that's a pretty big deal for a cleaner planet, for all of us.
And we're not just talking about, picking up an old brick. This is a whole family of rewords you humans need to get familiar with. We're talking reuse, repair, refurbish, remanufacture, repurpose. It's all about treating every single piece of a building like it's a valuable resource, not just another piece of trash.
So who's going to make this whole circular thing actually happen? The answer might surprise you. It's not just the giant companies or the national governments. Nope, the real heroes in this story are kind of hiding in plain sight. Your local towns and cities.
And why them? Well, it's because your local governments are basically the ultimate puppet masters when it comes to buildings. Think about it. They own the land, they plan the projects, they commission the builders, and then they end up using the buildings. They're holding all the strings. And all that control gives them a superpower. They can play matchmaker between the old buildings getting torn down and the new ones going up. They can literally take the bricks from a demolished school and use them to build a new library. They can turn one building's trash into another building's treasure.
Now look, this isn't just some crazy cat idea I came up with during a nap. The smartest of you humans are already all over this. And believe me, they are leaving a paper trail a mile long.
Just look at this chart. Before 2019, this whole idea was kind of niche. But since then, whoa, the research has just exploded. It seems you humans are finally starting to get it. And that peak in 2023 tells you this is a very hot topic right now.
And this is a global conversation. You can see it right on this map. But let's be honest, some of you are way more into it than others. Western Europe is really leading the pack here, especially the Netherlands and the Nordic countries. They're way ahead of the curve.
Okay, so the idea is great. The research is booming. Your local towns have actual superpowers. So why isn't every city a perfect waste-free paradise already? What's the holdup? Well, that brings us to the big, missing piece of the puzzle.
The people who wrote the paper we're digging into here, they looked at 93 different studies to figure that out. So, what do you think they found? What is the single biggest thing stopping this whole circular economy for buildings?
And here it is. After all that research, the big discovery was a gap. A gap between the what and the how. Turns out everyone agrees on the big idea, but there's almost no research on the nitty-gritty details of how to actually pull it off. The management, the logistics, the boarding stuff.
To put it another way, you have the blueprints for a beautiful new house, but you forgot to buy any tools. It's a classic human problem, if you ask me. All vision, no follow-through.
So this is the really crucial thing to take away from all this. We all know where we want to go, to a circular, less wasteful world. But we need a map to get there, and that's where you come in. Whether you're a builder, a planner, or just someone who lives in a city, you can be part of the solution. So what are you waiting for? Let's start drawing that map together.